Hello guys, Robot1 here, coming at you with another Yu-Gi-Oh video along with Charmander in the background as always. And in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing to you my updated Nekroz deck profile. Now, there's a couple of reasons I wanted to update the Nekroz deck profile. One, the rule change where obviously Herald of the Arclight, if it's sent to graveyard, then put back in the extra deck or moved from the graveyard in any way, shape or form. It doesn't get its search effect, so that kind of changes the way I've played the deck now and the way I kind of, well, build the deck to a degree in the extra deck at least. And also I wanted to showcase the updated version with the new Nekroz ritual monster because, well, honestly, the deck's even better now. The deck has a lot of stuff it can do. It still has all the old stuff along with the Desperate 001 combo, or 003 combo I mean, where you just normal summon it, go full combo, go into your Nekroz plays, end on a board with Nekroz stuff, and also stop your opponent summoning from Christia. But it also has other things now, and is also one of the best ritual decks in the game, and because of that, I wanted to showcase it to you, especially seeing as it's from Duelist Alliance era, which is honestly one of my favorite eras in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! With Satellarknights, Shadows, Burning Abyss, Yangzing, and all of these other things. So I wanted to showcase an upgraded version of the deck to you guys. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. Honestly, I really do love any Duelist Alliance format deck, and because of that, I wanted to showcase. So without further ado though guys, let's actually get into it. And if you guys actually want to see any other Duelist Alliance formats deck profiles, maybe Ritual Beast, Satellarknights, Shadows, Burning Abyss, Yangzings, anything along those lines, why don't you go ahead and like the video or tell me in the comments what you want to see, because, well, I like to show you guys things, and if you guys want to see something, I don't mind making it, building it, and trying it, because it means, well, you guys want to see it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. But anyway, let's actually get into the deck profile so you guys can see the updated changes to my Nekroz list. So starting off, obviously we play 3 Nekroz of Bryonic, best Nekroz monster in the game, because guess what, it says discard and search any Nekroz monster in your deck. The card is absolutely insane, just giving the deck all the consistency that it needs, because it gives you the ability to search literally, well, any ritual spell by searching out your Colossus. It gives you the ability to search any of your Nekroz monsters, be it Trishula, be it Valkyros to stop your opponent from attacking, be it Nightmare Unicorn to recycle from the graveyard, be it anything along those lines, and just gives the deck absolute consistency by being able to play Preparations of Rites at 3 along with 3 Bryonic as well. It's just absolutely insane. So we play 3 of it. It's just an insane consistency card. Plus it has the additional effect of, if it's on the board, you can go ahead and put 2 extra deck monsters back into the extra deck, which is just really nice as well. So just a really good card, and I play it at 3 because of consistency, and Nekroz is pretty much one of the most consistent decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever made. But continuing on, we also play 3 Nekroz of Unicorn. This card is absolutely insane as well, being one of the best Nekroz monsters outside of Bryonic, because, well, while this card is on the board, all face-up extra deck monsters are negated. So your opponent has an extra deck monster on the board, it is now skill drained. And just having the ability to skill drain your opponent with a level 4 monster that you can go ahead and summon very easily in Nekroz, just by using a Kaleidoscope to go ahead and send like a Herald of Arclight to the graveyard so they can search more ritual monsters, is really good. And this card is also insane at 3 for the fact of that, well, it searches, well, instead of searches, sorry, adds back any Nekroz card from the graveyard. So if you've got like a ritual spell, for instance, that you want to add back from your grave to your hand, if you've got a Bryonic that you want to add back to go ahead and search a different Nekroz card, this card says you get to go ahead and do that, and it is a staple free of, it is a consistency card, it helps the deck so many different ways, and as I said, this deck is insane, and being a skill drain / recyclability card is really strong, so you play 3 of it. But we also play, though, 2 Nekroz of Colossus. We only play 2 Colossus because, well, you don't really need more. We're not playing a huge amount of the Nekroz ritual spells in the deck, so you don't really need to play more than 2 Colossus, and the fact that it's just a ritual spell searcher doesn't really do anything outside of that. This deck relies on its ritual monsters, and yes, this is really strong for the fact that it also has an on-board effect that says you can go ahead and target an extra deck monster, negate its effects, and put its attack to 0, but you really just want to be able to discard this to search a ritual spell, or better yet, go ahead and search off Bryonic, and then go ahead and search a ritual spell and go from there. And you only really need to play 2 because of that. So 2 Colossus, you don't need more than 2, it is a 2 of in the main deck. We also play 2 Nekroz of Valkyros. I don't like the card at more than 2. I get why people play it at 3, but I feel like if you're going into the late game where your opponent has the ability to go ahead and just say, oh, we're just going to keep attacking you and you're not going to be able to stop us, or we've got to the point where, oh, well, we need the 3rd Valkyros to actually survive, I feel like you're losing that game already. And this deck is built so your opponent can't actually play the game half the time, or you're going to control the game in some manner to be able to just go ahead and kill your opponent early on. So I feel like you only really need the 2 Valk. If it does come up more, there are a lot of ways to recycle it, be it like Nekroz of Unicorn, as I said, or other cards in the deck that actually have to recycle more cards, but you only really need 2 Valk. I only ever need it for 2, and if you're never going to summon it anyway 9 times out of 10, because, well, you never need to summon it now because you've got a better monster you could be summoning thanks to the new set of Ghost of the Past. So also, but if you want to know its other effect, it basically tributes card monsters in your hand to go ahead and draw cards from your deck. But yeah, really good card, banishes from grave, basically battle fader, but you only really need 2 of it in my opinion. We also only play 1 Nekroz of Trishula. I feel like you only need 1. It's really good. It's basically Trishula as well, for the fact that when you special summon it, or ritual summon it I should say, you get to go ahead and banish 1 card from your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard, but you cannot be missing one. So if your opponent doesn't have a card in your hand, or they don't have a card in the graveyard, or they don't have a card on their board, you cannot banish anything with this Trishula. But it's just a really good card to non-targeting remove anything on your opponent's board if they have anything that you can't remove, or also just discard it to stop a target. That's literally all you use the card for. And it's really good, but it's only a one-off. It doesn't really do anything outside of that, so I only really play out 1. And then the last Nekroz ritual monster we're playing is 1 Nekroz of Ariadiahe, I can't pronounce the name, but this card is the new card that was released in Ghosts from the Past, and this card is actually insane. For a couple of reasons. 1, this card says you can go ahead and discard it and then tribute Nekroz monsters to your hand. Now, that is mainly an effect that is really good for the little Nekroz monsters, the ones that aren't ritual monsters, because all of them have effects based on when they're tributed. So you go ahead and use this, tribute one of them in your hand, get a free effect off of one of those, and then go ahead and send a Nekroz card from your deck to the graveyard. Now, if you have no Nekroz monsters in your graveyard, or you have, no monsters on board, well, then you can go ahead and fill up your graveyard, put a ritual spell in the graveyard, banish the ritual spell and a Nekroz card to search any Nekroz ritual spell from your deck just because of this card, or you could go ahead and just go summon it, and for its other effect that says when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can go ahead and tribute a monster from your hand or field and negate that effect. So this card is really strong because it's a monster negate, and also the fact that it can just get you to ritual spells easier. It can get you to use your little Nekroz effects a lot easier as well, which is just really, really nice, being able to just tribute like a Charit or an Aerial to go ahead and get like a free search, or just get more Nekroz cards in the graveyard. So this card is really, really good, and honestly, with testing, I've been ending on this card a lot, and I really do like how I end on this card. So Nekroz of Ariadiahe, however you pronounce it, is just a really strong card. I feel like you only need to play 1 though, because obviously it is a big monster and you're not going to play a huge amount of the tribute monsters, but it's a one-of in my opinion, but it's a really, really strong one-of, and really does make the deck even better just for that monster tributing effect to go ahead and negate my opponent's monster effects. That's just really, really good. But for other Nekroz monsters that aren't ritual monsters, we do play 1 Charit, because whenever he's tributed, you get to go ahead and search a Nekroz warrior. That could be Colossus, that could be Brio, that could be Trish. It could be any of your warrior Nekroz monsters. But the main reason we play him though is because when you can use him for the entire tribute of any of your Nekroz monsters. So a lot of the Nekroz monsters actually do have restrictions if they're level 7 or higher, that says you can only ritual summon this card using none of that level monsters. Now, Charit bypasses that because this card can count as the entire ritual summon, being a level 3 can go ahead and tribute into, say, Trishula, that's a level 9. So this is just a really good card for that fact alone, and we go ahead and use it for that most of the time, so we can go ahead and summon out our Ariadiahe. So just a really good card there. And we also play 1 Aerial, Priestess of the Nekroz, because, well, this card is really, really good in Nekroz. And I say that because, well, you go ahead and most of the time combo off with Adhere, where you go ahead and get the Aerial in your hand, you go ahead and use Adhere, discard it to the graveyard, tribute this in hand to go ahead and send it to the graveyard, and because it was tributed, you get to go ahead and search any Nekroz card in your deck. Now, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be your Charit, which you're going to tribute as well for a ritual summon, but it's just a really, really good combo that I figured out, where you play Aerial and this to go ahead and get into all of your Nekroz plays. And Aerial just being a card that says whenever it's tributed, go ahead and search any Nekroz card is really, really good. So I play the one of her because of that, and majority of the time you're going to search so many cards because the turn 1 play you're normally drawing free cards and you're searching free cards instantly. That's what I've kind of come to find with this Nekroz build, and honestly, Aerial, not even that hard to get to. So play 1 Aerial. That's for all the Nekroz monsters. The Nekroz lineup is obviously the main part of the deck, and I don't think I would change it. Like, the only things that you could probably change is maybe add a Gungnir in, or maybe even add Decisive Armor to go ahead and have that boost effect. But I feel like this is the correct lineup because of you've got your consistency, you've got your recyclability, you've got your searchability, and it's just really, really strong in my opinion. But those are all the Nekroz monsters. Going into other, like, smaller pieces, we play 3 Despot 003 along with the 2 Despot 001. This is your main card starter, where you go ahead and do this, going to your 001 and then just go ahead and link them into Needle Fiber, summon the other one, and then just go ahead and make your Aurorodon, so you can go ahead and do your standard combos for the 1 card Nekroz combo. But we play 3 of it because we want to see it, and also if you do actually just open up the 001 in your opening hand and you have the ability to ritual summon, you can still go ahead and go into that full combo as well, just because you just go ahead and normal summon the 001. And also go ahead and ritual summon as well, just so you can go into it. So that's a good thing to know. We play 1 Cult Wing because of the Aurorodon. It goes ahead and summons more tokens and allows us to abuse 001 even more. 1 Cyber Angel Benten to go ahead and tribute it to go ahead and ritual special summon or search from our deck an Arc Lord Christia, because, well, we want to stop our opponent from special summoning, and this is really consistent to do that because you're searching ritual spells and ritual cards like no tomorrow, so the Ben 10 is just there. But I found it was just really good, and honestly, you should not cut this from the deck at all, because this is just really, really strong, so you want to be playing this in the deck. For some hand traps though that we do play, we play 3 Ash Blossom Joyous Springs because, well, it's Ash, it's the strongest hand trap in the game, and it's a tuner, so if we do open it with a ritual summon, we can go ahead and normal it, go into the Crystal Happy Firebrax, summon the 001 from the deck, go into combos, and go ahead and play from there. So we want to play the 3 Ash Blossom, and we also play 3 Effect Veiler. Now, the reason we play 3 Effect Veiler because we're not playing Imperm in this deck, and I feel like Effect Veiler is just a really good substitute for Imperm this format, but in Nekroz, you have to play Veiler instead of Imperm, and the reason for that is that if you do open a hand where you can ritual summon and make the Needle Fiber to go into your full combo, well, the Veiler is a monster that's also a tuner, and it's the same reason as I said for Ash, that you can go ahead and normal summon it and make the Crystal Happy Firebrax, but you can't do that with Imperm. So to be able to gain access to the entire Happy Firebrax / Aurorodon combo, we go ahead and play more tuner effect monsters just so we can go ahead and bypass that fact and go into our full combos with the Effect Veiler. So if you're playing Nekroz, don't play Imperm, play Effect Veiler for the fact that, well, it allows you to go full combos, so why wouldn't you want to do that? So yeah, but that's all the hand traps we play. I only wanted to play 6 because, well, we've got a ton of consistency already, and I wanted to have some ways to stop our opponents, so we do play the 6 hand traps. And I feel like you have to play at least 6 in the game right now just so you can go ahead and stop your opponent in some way, shape, or form, to stop them from making a really dumb board. But going into spell cards, for ritual spells, we play 2 Kaleidoscope, 2 Cycle, and 1 Mirror. The reason we're playing this lineup is because Kaleidoscope allows us to send the monsters from our extra deck to the graveyard, so we could send a 9, a 10, 11, or something to summon 2 ritual monsters, or we could send a Herald of Arclight to the graveyard to summon out our Nightmare Unicorn, which is what we normally do with it, to go ahead and also gain an additional search with a ritual monster, so for a ritual monster or ritual card. So we want to be playing 2 of that. We play 2 Nekroz Cycle, because this is basically the Monster Reborn ritual spell, where you can go ahead and tribute monsters from your hand or field to go ahead and special summon a Nekroz ritual monster from the graveyard, basically recycling the resources you did, and will normally be summoning back your area hair, which I'm just going to call him from now on, your area hair from the graveyard, so you can gain those monster negates. And then 1 Nekroz Mirror, because, well, I find this to be the weakest turn 1 Nekroz spell card, for the fact that, well, yes, it can go ahead and banish the monsters from the graveyard to go ahead and ritual summon, which is really good, don't get me wrong, but you're never really using that effect for its actual effect, because you've got to be banishing Nekroz monsters to use it, and the only card that we're ever going to banish to actually trigger that effect is Shrit. So I felt like 1 Nekroz Mirror is all we really needed, and in all honesty, it comes up, it really does, because there's sometimes turns where we do use all 3 ritual spells on our turn 1, but the Nekroz Mirror as a one-off, I feel like it's just better, so I only play it. But for other spell cards, obviously we're playing the free Preparations of Rites. It searches our Brio, it recycles our ritual spells, which is really, really nice, and can also get us into stuff like Side Range or Ben 10. Go ahead and get us our Nightmare of Nekroz Unicorn. Go ahead and get us any lower level ritual monsters, so we want to play this at free. We also play free Pot of Avarice. Now, this is an idea that I came up while testing the Nekroz deck, and I found out that, well, you burn through your entire combo on turn 1 every time. And because of that, I want to not do that. So I chose to play free Pot of Avarice for the fact that, one, it just draws us 2 cards, which is really nice. Being able to draw 2 cards at any point in time, always good, always a nice thing. But 2, it's a good card for the fact that you just go ahead and use it, recycle all your extra deck cards that you may have used in your combo, go ahead and recycle all of your Despot cards or your 001s, go ahead and recycle all your Heralds, go ahead and recycle all your Nekroz monsters, just so you can go ahead and say, yes, I have a fresh start, I draw 2 cards, I can now go into all my plays again, and it just makes the deck even better. And I really do like to see this card on turn 1, because majority of the time, you're able to use this on turn 1 for the fact that you're discarding tons of your Nekroz cards. You're discarding Brio, you're discarding Colossus, you're discarding perhaps Area Hair. You're discarding so many different Nekroz cards and also using so many different monsters in your turn 1 that Pot of Avarice is always live, and being able to just recycle all of that is really, really good. So I chose to put Pot of Avarice in here at free. I'm really loving it at free, so I feel like it is just a free up card in the Nekroz deck. And then the last card we're playing is one Rota. It searches Shrit, it searches Klaus, it just searches pretty much any of your Nekroz monsters, which are low-level warriors. So yeah, we play the one Rota just to have an additional Shrit / also have an additional way to get to our Nekroz of Colossus. So just a really, really good card. Rota up 1, it's just a free searcher, so nice. But going into the extra deck though, which is probably one of the most important parts of this video, because, well, Kaleidoscope, needle fiber combos, all of that is in here. But starting off, we play one Crystron Haki Fibrax, obviously for the combo, along with one Auroradon. These are the only Link monsters that we actually play, because obviously you go Crystron Haki Fibrax, summon the 001, make the Auroradon, summon 2 001s from the graveyard, and go from there. You only really play these 2 links for that, plus Auroradon locks you out of link summoning, so you're never going to do more than that. We also play one Duergaeus, because, well, Duergaeus is just like, I'm a monster reborn from the graveyard, I summon 001 back, and if we do lose 1001, or we can only get to 1001, well then, this is the card that you make, so you can go ahead and go into a different line of combo. So you can go ahead and summon 001 back, go ahead and still synchro summon, and still do different plays and all of that nice stuff. So you play the one Duergaeus for that. One Abyss Dweller, it boosts all of our monsters by 500 if we got a Klaus, a Nightmare Unicorn, a Nekroz of Unicorn under it. And also, well, it's just a really good card because it says, well, your graveyard is negated, so you can't play the game. Have fun. So just a nice card there. Dagusto Emerald, 9 times out of 10, you will make this every turn 1. And you make this because, well, this card says you put back 3 cards into the deck, and you draw 1. That draw 1 and / recyclability is very important because we play a specific synchro monster in the deck that really does go well with Dagusto Emerald, so you can go ahead and draw multiple cards and get more consistency in the deck. And we also play, for the last Xyz monster, one Prime Mathmech Albertian, because this card says you can detach 3 Xyz material from this card to search 1 level 4 monster from your deck. The monster we normally will search from the deck is either our Aerial, so we can go ahead and tribute it with our Airhead, which is here Area Head, or we go ahead and search a Nekroz of Unicorn, so we can go ahead and have more consistency there. So honestly, I've tested this works wonders. It's literally made every single game along with the Dagusto Emerald, and honestly, I've never had an issue with it. It just says search a monster for free, and having that ability to search a monster for free while also detaching Heralds of the Arclights to get a free search is really, really nice. So we do play the one Prime Mathmech Albertian. Going on to synchro monsters though, we do play the free Herald of the Arclight, of course. This card just says whenever it's sent to the graveyard, search a ritual monster, or search a ritual card, so just free resources right there, and you send all 3 to graveyard on turn 1. And a card that a lot of people don't actually play, but I put in for one reason and one reason alone, is Older Entity Kafugia. And the reason why we play Kafuga here is because, well, whenever it's used as Xyz material, we draw a card. So the whole idea behind this is that the first time you make Emerald, you've made this in your with the Auroradon token in the 001. You put it under, you draw a card, you then detach it, shuffle 3 away, put this back into the extra deck, and then you go ahead and summon out your Cult Wing, summoning 2 more tokens, then summon the 2 001s back, and then you go ahead and make a Herald of the Arclight, and you also go ahead and make Kafuga with your obviously Cult Wing. With your Cult Wing, and then you go ahead and overlay all 3 of them, and then you go ahead and make the Prime Math Mech, and then you detach all 3 of these, get your, well, you go chaining 1 to detach, and then you go chaining 2 to draw a card with Kafuga, and then you've basically gone ahead and gotten a free search, an additional draw, and also a search from this. So it's just +3. It's +3 from 1 card that you made this from the Despot engine. So it's literally, Kafuga just says every time it's used as a Xyz material, draw a card, and you use it 2 times in 1 turn, 1 with the Dagusta Emerald and 2 with the Prime Math Mech. So it's there for that reason, and it really is good. I really do like it, and I think it's just absolutely insane. So Kafuga is just a really, really good card. I loved it in testing, and honestly, I'm surprised we didn't play this before. And honestly, guys, the reason this card came in, the only reason that I put this card came in, and the reason why I looked for things that I could potentially put in and found this, is because, well, the rule change in Europe was changed so that if the card was moved from the graveyard, then, well, you can't use that card's effect. So if you send Herald to the graveyard with Dagusta Emerald and then shuffled it back, you can't get the search. Kafuga doesn't have that issue. You get your draw regardless, you put it back into the deck, and you have fun there. So I really like Kafuga. It's really good, and I'm really happy with it in this build. We also do play 1 Unce just because, well, you go ahead and send it to the graveyard, and you go ahead and pop a card. It's just there for that. And also, it's a fairy, so it can get you to Christia a bit easier. We also play levels too. We play 1-9, 1-10, 1-11, and then 1-12 for the Nekroz mirror. That's the only reason you play these ones, but they're there for that. But guys, that is the deck profile though. This is the build that I have made. This is the build that I'm honestly really happy with. Like, I have no issues with it. I'm really happy with the way I built it. I'm really happy with the combos that I've come up with it, and I'm really happy with how the deck works. But guys, if you really did like this deck profile and you're trying this yourselves, I hope you do enjoy it. Hope you did enjoy it. I hope you loved it, and I hope the deck is something you like. But guys, if there's anything you would say about the deck, or any changes, maybe things you'd put in, maybe things you would change, maybe put Area Head to 2, maybe add another Valkyrus, maybe change the extra deck, or maybe there's something better than Kafuga to play, why don't you go tell me in the comment section below, because honestly, this is the build that I made, and this is the way I like to play it. But I always like to look at other people's builds. I always like to look at things they could potentially do, and I love to know that there's other people testing different things out there. So please tell me all of that in the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts on the deck profile in general. If you liked it, don't forget to like the video. If you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh videos from me, don't forget to press the subscribe button. There will be a hand testing video coming out very soon for this deck profile as well, so hopefully you guys look forward to that, because, well, it's Nekroz, I'm gonna do it, it's a combo deck. Combo decks always follow with a hand testing video. And yeah guys, that's all I have to say. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah, Nekroz, it's a pretty good deck, isn't it? Anyway, later all.